You're too dark, you're black, you're not good enough. This person won't like you, that person won't like you, you're too dark skinned. Hi, magnificent people, welcome to Lifestyle by Becca. You guys, today's video is going to be the very beginning of my self-care series here on this channel. If you watch my intro, you know how important self-care is to me. I think that beginning this series, or beginning this journey here early on my channel is going to be extremely beneficial for both you and me. So today I'm just going to share with you 5 things that I started to do to practice self-care. And before we get into this video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. If you have, thank you so much for being here. Click the notification bell so you'd be the first to know when I upload a new video. Google says to practice self-care, it means to take action to preserve one's health, especially during stressful periods. And I couldn't agree more. I do also think that self-care can mean different things to different people. It just depends on where you're at in your life or what you believe self-care to be. For me, I unknowingly started practicing self-care in 2016. I stopped listening to a lot of people's problems that were weighing on me. I detached myself from people who always brought me down. There were people in my life that every hairstyle I had, it was always a negative comment. If I wore a certain outfit, it was always a negative comment. I was able to be more productive. I was able to have a clearer headspace. I was able to begin my blog, which I'm slacking on right now, but I was able to begin my blog. I was able to explore myself and figure out what it is that I meant to me. I was able to see myself in a different light. Sometimes when you are around people that aren't good for you, you tend to forget who you are. You tend to slowly drift away mentally, sometimes physically. When you spend time with toxic people, you unknowingly become toxic. And I remember my fiance would always tell me, who you spend time with is exactly who you are or who you will become. And I used to deny it for quite some time. When I became selective with my time, you guys, when I became selective with my time, I had time to do what I wanted to do without any negativity, without any judgment being passed, and I became a much happier me. I believe in God, I believe in prayer, and I believe that anytime you pray and you pray with faith and you pray without ceasing, miracles happen. Anything that you want in life, especially prayer and fast, it really works. And so when I had any negative thoughts in my mind, when I had any situation that was just bringing me down and I wanted out, but I didn't know how to get out of it, because I was always a nicey person who don't like to hurt anybody's feelings, I would pray and I would ask God to help me out of the situation. Reading my Bible calms me so much. It makes me forget the world that I'm living in. It makes me think and remember that there's happiness at the end of this entire situation. No matter how hard life may seem, no matter what negative thing they may come with next, no matter what is going on, there is hope. I want to encourage you, if you're going through something right now, a negative situation, toxic friends, toxic people, a toxic relationship, talk to somebody. Seek spiritual or professional therapy, your choice. Talk to somebody, get it out, talk to God. It really does help. One thing you should know about me, I love to write. I love to write. I love to read and I love to write. Hence my blog, which is linked down below. Check it out after this video. Check it out after this video, okay? My journal is a place where I go to uncoil my thoughts, and writing actually helps me de-stress. I would have an issue and I would write, and in the beginning and in the middle of a passage, my thoughts would be so uncoiled. I'd be like, what was the problem again? And I just close up and I go my merry way. That's what it does for me. Another thing that journaling does for me, journaling is, it allows me to be vulnerable in a place where there's no judgment. My journal is a judgment-free zone. Judgment-free zone. There's nobody to tell me I'm wrong. There's nobody to tell me that I shouldn't act a certain way. There's nobody to tell me that what you're feeling, you shouldn't feel. There's nothing like that. I'm just able to be myself and I'm able to explore my feelings. I'm able to check in with myself to see how I'm feeling about me. And one thing, I'm able to deeply express how I really feel about something. Something I may not want to say to someone, a situation that I would have been in, and at that point in time I wouldn't be honest about this situation in my mind, like this is what it really is. No, this is where you are currently. When I get in my journal, I am able to actually be 100% verbal, and I love that. Another thing that I started to do was I started to look myself in the mirror with kind eyes. And by this I mean I stopped judging my I don't I don't want to get emotional about this, but we back. For as long as I can remember, you guys, I want to be really, really real, because I really want to help anybody that may be struggling with this, or anybody that's going through anything and maybe I'm able to identify with any of these self-care practices that I started to do. I remember as a child, I was always teased, you're too dark, you're black. They said black a lot instead of dark. But you're so black. There were people that would say, like, this person wouldn't like you, that person wouldn't like you, you're too dark skinned. I didn't know that affected me throughout my life. There were people that really judged me. Some were very verbal with it, and some were it just showed by their actions. They would shun me from certain events. It wasn't drastic, we were kids, but they would shun me from certain things that they had going on and stuff like that, and I was always completely teased. So I avoided a lot of places that it wasn't mandatory, because I'd always been taught, I'd always been told, out there in the world, that you're not good enough. I didn't know that affected me until I got into adulthood, and looking back, I saw a lot of situations that I was in, and those was it just popped back up. And with what we're facing in the world currently, I think it's really important to be kind to yourself. When I look back now, the people that, as we Trini say, were on me back then, I look back and I think to myself, we were kids, or they weren't happy with themselves. Because mind you, Some of the people that used to tease me about my complexion were more, they had, let's just say they had more melanin than I did. And I didn't realize that because I was always taught to see the beauty in people, and I still do today. But I started basically to look myself in the mirror, and my family don't know this, so I guess if when they watch this video, they'll actually know. I started to say positive affirmations every single chance that I could get. You are beautiful. That complexion you have there, darky, oh my goodness. Pure. You are pure beauty. You are beautiful. You are creative. You are intelligent. I started telling myself, you are worth it. I started reminding myself that who you are inside as a person is much more better than an outer appearance, because somebody could be as good looking as what? A bad attitude, a nasty attitude. They're just ugly to me. That really helped me to be more at peace with myself. As I got older, I started to see the beauty in my complexion. I started to love my melanin. I love anything with a tint in it. I love everybody, let's just say. There's nobody out here who can tell you that you are not good enough. You are worth it. You are worth it. Another thing I started to do was to plan ahead. I don't particularly plan everything. I don't particularly write down everything. Like, I'm not that person. I am not that person to have my life scheduled out. I'm just not like that. Like, I'm thinking about my sister. My sister is a walking rasta. She's a walking schedule. Listen, I started to plan ahead things that I really want to achieve, things that I'm going to do for the day, or things that I'm going to do for the month. I have a little book that I write a to-do list on, and I also write like on sticky notes, jot down little things that I have to do today so that I wouldn't wander around aimlessly. When I didn't write what I wanted to do, when I didn't have a to-do list, or I didn't have like my goals written down, there were days where I would just sit down and I would have so much to do, but they would be all up here, which is so strange because I love journaling, but I never used to really plan ahead like that, and that made my life so much easier. It helped me mentally, it helps clear my mind, and so I'm not getting frustrated with what I have to do. Well guys, we've come to the end of another video. If you are practicing self-care, please share with me in the comment section some of your tips, some of your tricks, what is currently working, and I can't wait to see you in our next video. Bye guys.